20th century. This world was being watched closely as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns. They were scrutinized and studied. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design
12 states, 2 oceans, 2 continents, and I can validate you're being lied to about where you live. Large bodies of water do not curve. Land surveyors treat the earth as flat when they build bridges, canals, buildings, and railroads. Pilots fly their airplanes like the earth is perfectly flat. Microwave engineers built their towers from city to city, assuming the earth is perfectly flat. And you can test it yourself. That's what I've done. I tested it for 10 years, guys. Been on National Geographic, Netflix, MSN, Google News, Daily Mail, New York Post, Chicago Tribune, LA Times. They are all lying to you. They do not care about you. Period. So, I've used infrared telescopes, high-power zoom cameras, done mirror reflection tests with the sun. I've debated NASA employees, land surveyors, PhD astrophysicists. They all get smoked like Cuban cigars because they don't have the truth on their side. The globe religion is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It's a bunch of hocus pocus booga booga nonsense. Until you figure that out, well, you're just going to be one of the free-range NPCs, eating your goy slop, wondering what's the next thing you need to care about on the news. But why would they lie to me? Well, you have to figure that one out for yourself.
Now, 1,000,000% unrelated from planes, this background video is nothing at all. It's just for entertainment while I talk because people are just acting strange and who knows why. Has anyone showed you what's happening in France right now? We know about their politics and what's been happening there in France, but something in the last few days, their brain just like hit a switch and all of a sudden, they are done. They are done and they're making it known. It's weird, too, how we don't ever see any of this stuff on social media. And guess what? It's not just France. These things are happening everywhere right now. Surely all these places must have something in common. I can't show you what's happening in the Middle East.
Something very weird is happening in the world right now. Revival for Jesus Christ is breaking out in Germany, New Zealand, Italy, London, Korea, Brazil. It's happening all over the world right now. This just happened in Australia. And in London, Pakistan, Venice, Poland, Sweden, Paris, France, 500,000 in Poland, the Netherlands, Mexico, and yes, my own country, United States, from Boston, Denver, Washington, D.C., Hollywood, even San Francisco, even the White House. American Idol streamed a 3-hour worship session. This is the turning point. Revival is happening. We've been praying for one last revival before Antichrist and darkness reigns. This is the turning point.
If you had to choose, would you rather know what was going on in Antarctica, the Vatican, or Area 51? Because the rabbit holes of secrets just still never ending. When I was thinking about the Vatican earlier, I was like, think about the fact that the Bible itself had 80 books in the 1600s. Now we're down to 66, and they removed things like giants, dragons, sirens, Enoch, the Book of Mary Magdalene. All of these different things are hidden from us, and we just don't even know why. Nevertheless, I saw this guy talking about the fact that there were 200 angels that fell from the sky, and around the earth we have 190 craters that have no rock or rubble that were ever found. And then this other person was like, yeah, 10 of them fell into the ocean. Then this lady blew my mind because she was like, what if that's what took the dinosaurs? And why would there be a book about dragons if dragons never existed? And I've gone down so many rabbit holes in the last couple of days that my mind is completely depleted and exhausted, but I'm also super intrigued and I just want to know more. But I feel like I'm just going in circles because every time I uncover a layer, I end up looking into something else that has nothing to do with what I was looking for. And then I'm just stuck because I'm like, I didn't know this either. So what do y'all think about this? Like, if you had to choose, what would you go to first?
Lock their doors and windows at night. They close the curtains. They will not go outside because they know what's out there in the Appalachian Mountains. There was this family. They buy this beautiful home on 16 acres in this secluded area of the Roanoke Valley in the Appalachian Mountains. Right? He notices something weird. The neighbor actually comes not to greet them, not to welcome them to the area, but to warn them. And he says very specifically, at night, make sure you lock your doors and your windows and you close the curtains. And he says, very important, there is something out there. And he goes, you mean the people in this area like really like that you have to lock your doors? And he goes, I'm not talking about people. Now just remember, lock your doors and windows at night. You'll be all right. So the neighbor, one particular night, the family is sitting in the living room. That's when the father notices that the son is standing next to the window. And he's staring at something very intently. And so he asks the son, what are you staring at? What's out there? And he goes, Father, there's a boy out there. Like, there's this young boy. Can I go and play with him? And the father's like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no boy around here. We live in the woods. Like, there's no one around here. And he's like, no, Father, there's a boy out there. There's a boy out there. And the father's like, you know what? Just the next time we go to bed, right? The son keeps looking out the window at something and telling his father, there's this boy outside. And he keeps drawing pictures of this boy. And he keeps saying, I really want to play with that boy. The father at the time just thinks, this is something to do with them moving. And at one night, Janae's whole family is asleep. When the father wakes to a sound coming from the living room, he gets his wife up and he's like, I think someone's gets to the living room, broken in, flips on the light. There's his son on the floor playing with his toys. And the front door is wide open. So he asks the son, like, what are you doing up? Why are you out of bed? And he goes, Father, I'm this body. Like, there's no boy here. Like, there's no one around here that is your age. So he tells his son to go to the door. Well, the next couple of weeks, right, is when they started to hear this banging sound at the front door, like if someone was there. And when the father would go and answer the door, the father gets so frustrated and angry with whoever's knocking at the door that one night he hears the knock. He goes out on the porch and he starts screaming, what are you doing at my house? Like, leave us alone, leave my family alone. His name being called. And it sounds like a child's voice. And it's telling him to come out into the woods. So this father, kind of makes his way back inside, closes the door, and locks it. And at this point, he's like, something, he starts telling him, I think something's after my family. I think something is trying to, scare us. And the locals say, look, we're not trying to be rude, but you need to take your family and get out of here and move back to town. At this point, the family is so terrified that they are all sleeping in the same bed. The father wakes up, and he sees his son standing next to the window. And he's staring at something. And he's like, what are you looking at? Like, what is out there? What is out there? And he goes, they're here. They're here, Father. They're here. They're here. And he's like, who's here? He's like, go back to bed right now. Children standing around the house. And they have these bright, glowing white eyes. So he hurries up, he closes the curtains, and he gets in bed and he holds his son. That night, he goes to bed with the family in the bedroom. He wakes up and he discovers his family is all gone. He searches the entire home. They are nowhere. The only thing he finds is that the front door is open. So he figures they've taken his family out into the woods. So he runs as fast as he can out into the woods and he starts screaming, where's my family? Give me back my family. And all of a sudden, he hears some movement coming through the woods. And out of the shadows steps this young boy. And as this boy takes a couple steps closer, he realizes it's his son. And he has these glowing white eyes. And he looks at his father and he says, not yet. And the father takes off running as fast as he can back to the house. He gets in his car, he drives into town and goes to the local pub. And he starts screaming to them, like, they've got my family, they took my family, like, you have to help me. And then he runs out of the bar and he leaves. And that was the last time that they ever seen this man or his family ever.
It just could be. What if nearly 300 years of history never happened? Stay with me. In 1991, a German historian named Hermann Illig proposed something that shakes the very foundation of time itself, the phantom time hypothesis. His claim? The years 614 to 911 AD were completely fabricated. They don't exist. They were inserted into history, and we've been living in a false timeline ever since. Now, who would do this, and why? Enter Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII. Three powerful figures who supposedly conspired to alter historical records and manipulate the calendar. Why? Because Otto III wanted to rule in the symbolic year 1000 AD, a number that carries power, prophecy, and legitimacy. But instead of waiting, they fast-forwarded history itself. Now, think about this. We have written records from this missing period, sure. But where are the artifacts, the architecture, the undeniable physical proof? You'd expect 297 years to leave more behind, yet it's eerily scarce. And if this sounds impossible, just remember, Tartaria was erased from history. If they can erase entire civilizations, Why
an
not rewrite
F-18
time
Super Hornet
itself?
was flying off the coast of Florida. It looks like that object is just zipping along really quickly near the surface of the water. But after careful analysis of all the numbers on the heads-up display there and doing the geometry and looking at the track of the airplane as it was flying, we were able to assess that the object actually had to be at about 13,000 feet, not close to the water, and the plane was about 25,000 feet. And there's actually an optical phenomenon called motion parallax that makes it appear that the object is moving much faster relative to the background than it actually is.
There's no rotor wash, there's no jet wash, there's nothing though. That's what's fascinating about this.
There's nothing, but with the parallax, we can assess that the object is moving actually at wind speed. So we don't know what that object is.
It's called a bird.
It's consistent with a bird or a balloon. We don't know what it is.
17 dimensions. An entity that they have been in contact with for over 7 years. Don't be afraid. So CERN recently turned on their Hadron, however you guys want to call it, collider. I always call it hydrogen collider. And then again, this ain't my first language. Hi, my name is Armin. This is The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, please consider dropping a follow. It'll mean the world to me, and I'll follow you back as soon as I can. TikTok allows me 10,000, and we're halfway there. Anyway, so CERN literally turned on their hydrogen collider, however you want to call it, once again. But this is concerning. Why is this? So they had this weird ritual that lasted for 4 hours. They did this above ground and underground. You have world leaders from all over the place that took part in this, at least as a witness or a fan, right? So if we're spending $10 billion to search for the God particle, antimatter, a lot of people are saying that they're trying to store antimatter, but they can't. Also, why are they calling it the portal of Osiris? All kinds of weird stuff is going on here. If it's supposed to be scientific, why are they dressed demonic? Why are they dressed as goats? Why are they doing human? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, this ain't right. Something's up, clearly. The fact that they named it a portal anyway, the portal of Osiris, but the fact they're willing to openly say it's a portal, this also is not science fiction. This is science fact. CERN literally says this.
Who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality.
Found again after he proves Earth's shape is not what we have been taught. Watch this.
Take this bowl here, pour a whole bunch of water on it, and watch none of the water fall off the bottom. It all sticks onto it. And while that's happening, and the water stays stuck. Not only that, you're at 1,000 miles an hour spinning this way, which also at 67,000 miles an hour, 67,000 miles an hour, while spinning 1,000, you're circling around the sun. And while that's happening, you're also chasing the sun through the Milky Way at 514,000 miles an hour. And every single night, the stars are exactly the same. Every single night. Every single night. The stars never change. Polaris is always exactly where it is.
This is not fake, and it's not good news. A deadly creature has been unleashed across the world's oceans. Even getting close to it could end your life. Scientists have just discovered a toxic giant organism, and it's not just in one place. It's being spotted in every major body of water. They rise to the surface massive, longer than half a football field. And here's the terrifying part. There's no limit to their growth. This creature isn't just one animal. It's made up of thousands of organisms working together, forming one deadly unit. Each piece armed with toxic stingers that can pierce flesh and kill within moments. Even if you don't touch it. Why? Because its venomous tentacles can fire at you, chase you, and wrap around you like a living net. Survivors describe the aftermath as unbearable. Swelling, breathing failure, and excruciating pain. Its name? The Portuguese man o' war. A living death trap of the ocean, drifting, waiting, and impossible to escape.
I'm so confused. Is this AI or not? Let me know in the comments, please.
Seeing it, it's glowing white. When
a Nokia would bounce back and end up in a tree.
3i Atlas 60-second update. If you're like most people and going, what the hell is happening? 1, it's producing methane. You know, I don't remember the last time a comet, a meteor, or an asteroid produced methane. 2, it's producing its own light source. And it's producing it from within. I don't remember the last time a comet, meteor, or asteroid did that. 3, it's speeding up and slowing down. It's changing course and then correcting its course. I don't remember when an asteroid, meteor, or comet ever did that either. It's also not producing what typically follows the tail of a comet, meteor, or asteroid. And in fact, it's actually producing that at times in front of it, which is leading scientists to believe that it has some form of exhaust that is helping it speed up or slow down. I don't remember when an asteroid, meteor, or comet has done that either. And lastly, the elements it's made of are not known on our periodic table, which doesn't confirm that it is or isn't a spaceship, asteroid, meteor, or comet, but it does have known elements that we here on Earth have no clue what it is. So those are just 60 seconds of updates on 3i Atlas, just in case you were still wondering what the hell is this thing and when is it showing up.
Source, please.
Piedade! Ai, caralho. Oh, piedade!
Jenna, can I see the front? And right here, please.
Is there a possibility there's a Jeffrey Epstein walking around that we don't know who it is? Is it possible that Jeffrey Epstein didn't die in his cell? I was told by someone who, and this is probably ridiculous, but they said there is a possibility that Epstein is, Les Wexner's got that big house in Ohio. Somebody said it's a possibility, a tiny one, that he's living at Les Wexner's house in Ohio.
If that was true, there would be a service that delivers masseuses.
Of course.
There's no way that guy's stopping.
They'll shut them out.
Why does the arrested suspect Tyler Robinson look nothing like the man in the wanted photo?
Because that's not a photo of Tyler Robinson. It's an AI-generated image that's being passed around the internet. This is the actual photo from the FBI. Pay close attention to the shirt. Here is what that shirt actually looks like.